Today, The Weeknd made the mistake of posting his birth time. You know all the Astro girlies are eating it up. Let's get into it and figure out why he is the way he is. It's pretty obvious. To no one's surprise, he's an 8th house sun. The 8th house is all about sex, death, taboo, trust, intimacy, transformation, secrets. By default, this makes someone very mysterious, and while he doesn't expose a lot of himself, he attracts people that expose themselves to him. And we hear this in his music about how women are vulnerable around him and indulge in their fucked up vices with him: cheating, drugs, sex, lying. It doesn't surprise me that a lot of his fans found community in listening to his music by bonding over drugs and things that are a little bit more taboo. He's a Cancer rising, so naturally he's going to be ruled by the moon, and he is a Scorpio moon. Anyone could have told you that. But the conjunction to Pluto is what makes him so tumultuously intense when it comes to his emotions. Having this in the 5th house of fame and entertainment and music, it does serve as an outlet for him, especially because it is at the fame degree of Leo, 17 degrees. It's quite rewarding for him. But this is someone who is quite literally sex on legs, and to no one's surprise, this is exactly why he makes haunted strip club music. He has an overwhelming Capricorn stellium in his 7th house of relationships, and pretty much all of his conflicting harsh aspects in his chart are oppositions between his 1st house and his 7th house. A lot of the lessons in his life are going to be faced around who he is versus who he is in his relationships, and the value exchange between the two. To have a Scorpio moon is to live a life very desperate for trust and companionship, but fearing and avoiding those same exact things. And with the intensity of Pluto tied to that, he's most likely very observant and calculated with the way that he analyzes his objects of affection without revealing too much of himself. That way he feels more in control. But this is someone who can really struggle with his relationships based off of the context of his other placements and hurt people before they can hurt him. Capricorn is all about tests, restriction, limitation, but being rewarded by passing those said tests. And having that all in his 7th house of relationships, that area of his life is basically going to be front and center stage. With a Scorpio moon, a Capricorn Venus, and a Cancer Chiron in the 1st house, this is someone who will most likely not settle down until much later in life. Like, he could marry someone older, more mature than him, or possibly marry or remarry like a few times in his life, or somebody else who's been married before. A lot of the challenges he's going to face is just going to be between who he is as an individual and how his relationships change that sense of self, especially with his North Node and South Node being the 8th house versus the 2nd house, the things we share with other people versus the things that belong to just us. And the intensity of his moon is probably related to the relationship he has with his mother, which might come up in his romantic relationships. We saw this in his relationship with Selena Gomez, his on and off again relationship with Bella Hadid, both of them illuminating very home, motherly, maternal, feminine aspects of himself, which can be extremely triggering with his Chiron in Cancer. Simply put, The Weeknd is an emotionally intense man with the potential to deeply transform his understanding around trust and vulnerability, but not until he can let his guard down and allow other people to be human, respected, and faithful in the relationship, and not just entirely focus on how safe he feels.